All right, and welcome into the BettingPros Podcast. My name is Seth Woolcock, and today we are talking NBA Summer League. And to do that, I am joined by one of our betting experts here at BP, also a sports gambling writer for Newsweek, and the internet's favorite Philly sports fan, Matt Modai. Matt, how are we doing today, man?
I don't know if the internet has any favorite Philly sports fan, but I'll take that, and I appreciate the introduction. Yeah, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pretty crazy time in the NBA calendar. Yes, we just had the finals close a couple weeks ago, but NBA free agency is rolling on, and now Summer League here on the table for us as well today.
Yeah, and the draft was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's the NBA offseason. It's more exciting than the regular season. A lot of people think.
I wake up, I get a Woj bomb that Klay Thompson is now a Dallas Maverick. I mean, it's always
Yeah,
a crazy time of
it's
year and just fun.
nonstop.
Yeah, fun to keep up with it though. And today on the program, we are going to do an overview of Summer League. We're going to talk about some players to watch, and then do a betting preview at the end of the program as well. And let's jump right into the Summer League overview. The NBA Summer League gets underway with warm-up exhibitions. The California Classic, that's going to be in Sacramento and San Fran, July 6th through the 10th, and then in Salt Lake City, also from July 8th to the 10th. And then the NBA 2K25 Summer League. This is the Las Vegas one, the one that really everyone cares about. That will be
Yeah.
July 12th through the 22nd, 76 games between all 30 teams. I've never been to Summer League. I hear, though, Matt, it's kind of like a festival type vibe. The dome's going to have the huge basketball on it. People are going to be pounding $8 beers up and down the Vegas Strip. What can we expect on the court for the NBA Summer League this season?
Yeah, I have yet to make it out to Vegas for a summer league trip. I've always wanted to. It just hasn't really worked out in the schedule. In terms of what to expect on the actual court itself, yeah, I love summer league, so this is not me dissing it. But the unfortunate reality with summer league is that you can expect really bad basketball. It's endearing, but it can be just a chore. It's like watching a couple grown men at the YMCA try to play pickup basketball. Sometimes what it could look like at summer league. It's like these teams are like haphazardly, randomly cobbled together. There's rarely do they try to build an actual basketball team, because if there's a player that they really like or that's really good, they're probably not going to play summer league. And if they do, if it's like a second year player, they might play a game and then immediately show that they're too good for summer league, and then the team will pull them back. So you see a lot of clunky teams that don't have a lot of cohesion, a lot of one-on-one basketball, forcing ugly jump shots. The teams that I think the most important thing, teams that are just missing a point guard, even if it's a point guard that's not that good, just someone that can run offense.
Yeah.
Just say, you go over there, you're going to go here, we're going to run this play. Not a lot of teams have that in summer league, so it's fun, but some of those games can be very much a chore to watch.
Absolutely. And speaking of those players that we're going to see, what type of players are you expecting to show up here? Is it the early 2024 draft picks, the second round rookies, the G Leaguers? We're going to have some international players coming over as well, and then some second year players who also come back and play in Summer League. Which players do you typically target when looking at props, when looking at futures, or just trying to keep an eye on here as we approach Las Vegas?
Sure. Yeah. So it's a mixture of basically everything you said. There are some rookies that are good, that are high profile. Mostly, like if you look at our NBA roster or summer league roster, you might recognize 2 to 4 names. So it'll be those rookies, and then sometimes there are like NBA vets that are just trying to get a tryout. Basically, like Tony Bradley's an example of one this year. He's been in the NBA for a while, but he's playing on the summer league with the Sixers, just basically trying to get a tryout. Like I said, in previous years, like Kendall Marshall played NBA Summer League when he was like a 5-6 year vet. So it's some good high profile rookies, like all draft picks from 1 to 5 are playing in Summer League. Zachary Reese-Sachet, Alex Sarr, Reed Shepard, Stephon Castle, and Ron Holland. They're all going to be there for Summer League. And last year, I mean, it was a way more exciting Summer League because you had Wemby, you had Brandon Miller, you had Scoot Henderson, even LeBron James himself. He played in Summer League. So nobody is beyond and above Summer League. But yeah, it's mostly just a mixture of basically everything you said. You'll see sometimes second year guys play like one game in the Summer League and then immediately be too good, drop 40 points, and then bow out. That happened with Kings, Keegan Murray. That happened to him last year. He came and then immediately like played one game and they're like, yeah, you're way too good. So for me, I try to find, I mean, individual games is different. For futures, you try to find teams that are going to have players that actually play the whole time, or at least aside from injury, which you can't obviously project. And then I like to look for teams that have somebody that can, like I said, play point guard, run offense. It just makes things a lot more clean on the actual court itself. And then from a betting perspective, it's it's like the end of the regular season where you're betting on some nasty boys, is what I like to call them. Guys who are just going to get up there and try to get theirs. There are some guys like that in the summer league. So it's a melting pot of people that play in the summer league. And yeah, that's the beauty of it. There can be like a 4th-year player that you haven't given up on, or there can be like Victor Wembanyama, who's one of the best prospects that we've seen in forever, play as well. So yeah, that's kind of the appeal of summer league.
And can you break down the format for us a little bit too, Matt? Are we paying attention to the California Classic and the Salt Lake City Summer League as well? Do we care about those games? And once we get to the Summer League, I know eventually it breaks down in some playoffs. Can you break that down for our audience, please?
Yeah. So if it's not official summer league that starts on July 12th, you don't really need to care about it a ton. It doesn't really have anything to do with the actual summer league. Like you mentioned at the beginning, summer league starts on July 12th. It runs to July 22nd. The format's kind of interesting. The way it works is every team, all 30 teams, are represented in summer league, and each team is going to play 5 games, except for the teams in the championship will play a 6th game. The way it works is there's a 4-team playoff. So the top 4 teams in terms of record advance to the playoffs by win percentage. A lot of times there are tiebreakers, and there's a ton of ways in which the tiebreakers work. Like it's head to head, then it's the most points scored, then it's point differential, then it's the most points scored, and then it's a coin flip in the unlikely scenario that that's tied all the way there. And then so the remaining teams, so there's a 4-team playoff. It's single elimination. So 1 game for the semifinals, and then, or I guess 2 semifinals technically, and then 1 game in the finals. And then the other teams just play a 5th consolation. To my knowledge, the schedule itself is randomized. I don't think that there is any sort of formula in terms of deciding what 5 teams and what order every team plays. But yeah, that's the way it works. So the teams in the championship will end up playing a 6th game. Everybody else will play 5.
All right, let's keep it moving. But first, I wanted to remind everyone to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel and comment below on this video, because when you do, you could win a free upgrade to Betting Pros premium content. So whether you're looking to access exclusive picks, top-rated player props, or custom analysis, the Betting Pros premium can make sure you are cashing more bets, plain and simple. It's also the easiest way to support people like Matt and myself. And let's go ahead, Matt. Let's move into your top players to watch. We had an NBA draft preview a couple of weeks ago where we discussed some top players like Zachary Richer. I'm going to go ahead and start this segment over. Sorry, I totally butchered his name. My bad on that one.
Zachary Richer. All good.
Yeah, I'm honestly not even going to say his name. I that one gets me every time. All right, let's go ahead and look at Matt's top players to watch. We had our NBA draft preview episode a couple weeks ago, and we discussed some top players like Alex Sarr, Reed Shepherd, and even Bronny James. We'll be watching closely for these players and any other ones that we might have missed out on.
James, and actually, I feel for the guy because he's going to be participating in summer league. He is going to be playing, but like he really didn't do much of anything at USC in college, so he's probably going to get a ton of run in summer league because they wanted to get as many minutes as possible, but he's really just not ready yet to play. Summer league is obviously not NBA basketball, so maybe he will be able to have a little bit more success, but Bronny is obviously not as good as his dad. And the type of player he is, he's more of a role player. He plays solid defense. He's just slight. He's short. He's 6'2". He's a role player on offense with not a ton of dribble drive to his game, and he's really not that great of a shooter either. So everybody's going to be watching him. Someone else on the Lakers who I actually think will be good at summer league is their 1st-round pick, Dalton Kencht out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's going to be at summer league. Lights out shooter, one of the best shooters in the draft. It was like him, Reed Shepherd, and then the guy from Duke who went to the Sixers, McCain, are probably the top 3 shooters from the draft, at least in the 1st round. Older prospects, so he's not as raw. He knows how to play basketball. A lot of times those older prospects can come in and are just like, what the heck am I seeing here with summer league? It doesn't necessarily resemble real basketball. But he's someone that I think will have a game where he pops off from 3-point range. He'll probably go like 5 of 7 from deep in one game. And everybody's going to say, how the heck did the Lakers get this guy? In terms of, I do think that the team that's going to end up getting the most popular, aside from the Lakers in summer league, is actually the Utah Jazz. Not every team has announced their roster. So at least as of when I was researching and as the time of this recording, not every team has announced their roster, so some teams we don't know. But if you just look down the list of the Utah Jazz roster, there are a ton of recognizable names. They have Max Asmus, who those people that love March Madness, they know who he is. He went to Oral Roberts, and he was on the team that went on the 15 seed and went on a run to the Sweet
Oh, yeah.
16. Beat Ohio State in the first round. He transferred, I believe, to Texas. So that's where he's technically coming out of. But people remember Max Asmus. He's short. He doesn't really have a future in the NBA, but he's going to be exciting to watch. Armando Bacot from UNC felt like he was in basketball for 15 years. He's on the Utah Jazz. Isaiah Collier was a teammate with Bronny James at USC. Yeah. Draft nerd favorite. Everybody loved him on a pretty brutal USC team. So he didn't get a ton of love during the season and in the pre-draft process, but did show some flashes. Kyle Filipowski went to Duke, 5-star recruit.
A lot of buzz on him right now on the internet.
Yeah, unfortunately not for basketball reasons.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a lot of buzz on him. Went to Duke, 5-star player. Fell in the draft because of some weird stuff that I'm guessing that is not part of Betting Pros we're going to get into. But he has a big name even outside of all that weirdness. And then their highest actual pick in the draft, Cody Williams, good player, went to Colorado. And then there are some other March Madness favorites that people are going to love. DJ Burns is on the Cavs, confirmed Summer League roster. Zach Edey, confirmed on the Grizzlies Summer League roster. Some other guys that people, big college basketball fans, know. And then some other guys that, like I said, 4 or 5 year vets like Tony Bradley are going to be playing as well. So I know I listed a lot of names here. I would say the Jazz are going to be one of the most watchable teams just because you're going to be like, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. So people are going to probably gravitate to them. So yeah, that's kind of like a long-winded way of answering the top players to watch.
Okay, so the top players in the draft is what we're hearing. Then also Utah Jazz fans, please stand up here. And let's talk some bets here. But first, I did want to remind everyone to also download the Betting Pros app. You can do this whether you're on Apple or Android. You can use the Sportsbook Sync feature to automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. You can easily track your bet performance by bet sport and bet type and get personalized bet recommendations tailored to your interests. But let's go ahead. Let's keep it moving here. No odds technically released for the Summer League quite yet, but we do have the invites. We do have some rosters that have been released. We know who we're going to be circling here. Looking at the Summer League winner, though, Matt, is it the Utah Jazz? Is that who you're looking to potentially win this tournament?
It actually is the Utah Jazz, and admittedly, it is hard. Like I said, without knowing exactly what every roster is going to look like, it's also tough without the odds. But I do think it is the Utah Jazz. It's the guys that I mentioned. But then a big thing for me is Keyonte George is listed on the roster for the Utah Jazz Summer League. He balled out in Summer League as a rookie last year. Got some decent playing time in the regular season with some injuries, and then especially to end the year for the Jazz. He's once again playing this year. He's got years of experience under his belt playing in the NBA, and he already balled out in Summer League last year. And I think he's the perfect type of his game translates really well specifically to Summer League because he's just a straight up bucket getter. He's someone that you play pickup with that doesn't pass, that is just going to get buckets. And I think that he's going to be really good for the Jazz in Summer League. So he's my pick for MVP as well, which I know you didn't ask me, but Summer League winner, Utah Jazz, Summer League MVP, I'm going to go with Keyonte George. Kind of like what we saw Kyle Kuzma when he was a rookie, kind of like his game just kind of translated well to the to Summer League, and I kind of feel the same way with Keyonte George, especially that we already know that he balled out in Summer League, and now he's got a year, like I said, of experience under his belt playing in the NBA.
Okay, and in the Summer League since 2013, we've only seen 2 teams that have multiple Summer League championship trophies. The Kings have done it. The Trailblazers have done it. The Cavs are the defending champions. Any love for the Cleveland guys? Any thought that maybe they could go back-to-back here, or the Trailblazers who continue to stack up on some young names?
Yeah, to be honest with you, they hadn't announced their rosters at the time that I was looking at it, so it's tough to say. I do know that Evan Mobley's brother was a big player in Summer League last year, helped them come to the championship. And for the Trailblazers, it's really interesting because they have like 7 big men. Granted, only the guy they took in the draft, Klingon, is good. He is playing. He's confirmed playing. So he's someone, obviously, that is also a name to watch. Basically, every rookie with a high profile is a name to watch. So I could see it with the Trailblazers. I want to see, is Scoot Henderson playing? I'm guessing probably not, but he didn't have a great rookie year, so that would definitely help in their favor. But I would need to see the full rosters of both those teams before I say definitively that they're a team to watch.
Okay. And also in the past, we've had winners of the MVP be players like you alluded to, Keegan Murray in 2022, Josh Hart in 2018. So we've had some players who do develop into NFL caliber talent win this award. Will it be someone like that? Or do you think it's someone who, hey, he hits his peak here in Las Vegas in the summer?
Yeah, I go back to Keyonte George. Part of it is recency bias, the fact that he did it last year, but part of it is also the best recipe for future success is past success. And we saw him blow up in Summer League last year. He was a darling. He was a favorite. Everybody loved him, and I kind of feel like he does the same thing this year. You just hope that he isn't one of those situations where he plays one game and immediately is too good for Summer League. But he wasn't a top 5 pick for the Jazz. They have more important prospects, so I don't think that's the case. That does run the risk of that happening. But yeah, for me, I like Keyonte George.
Okay. And betting game to game here, we know there are going to be some teams like in recent years, the Rockets, the Pistons, who just tend to show up in the summer, while others like the Clippers, your Sixers, who necessarily don't have a huge feeder system right now, largely kind of disappoint this time of the year. Are there any teams based on historical data or whether it's just the rosters that you're trying to fade or back on a game to game basis, Matt?
Yeah, so historically the Lakers are actually pretty good at summer league, but they're definitely a team to fade this year. I don't want to just totally rag on the guy, but I think they're just going to give Bronny too much run because he's
Okay.
Bronny James, and he's definitely getting. He's going to get some of the most attention that a player should get, or that is going to get at summer league. So I think they're going to give him a ton of run. Like as I mentioned, I don't think he's necessarily ready as an NBA prospect yet. I also don't think his game translates well to summer league at all. He's significantly better. Like his peak in the NBA, if he hits his ceiling, it's going to be as a very important role player. I think like Contavious Caldwell-Pope type of player who's a good defender, good shooter. But those types of players are not built for summer league. The role players are not built for summer league. It's guys that can get their own shot and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I like the Dalton Kencht angle, but I don't love the Bronny. And you just worry that they're going to try and have him do too much because he's Bronny James.
Right.
Another team that I do like, aside from the Jazz, is I think the Timberwolves are going to be a team to watch in summer league. I like a lot of their guys. Rob Dillingham, they ended up trading up for him with the Spurs, their first round pick, the Timberwolves, and then Terrence Shannon as well. 2 guys that college basketball nerds know. 2 guys that are good at getting their own bucket, especially Rob Dillingham. He was probably one of the best at that in this draft, just in terms of put the ball down and see if you can get yours. And Terrence Shannon was a pretty good player as well in college. So I do think that the Timberwolves, along with the Jazz, are another team to watch.
All right. So backing the Timberwolves and the Jazz, fading the Lakers is Matt Modai. Thank you so much for your time today, man. How can we best support you as Summer League approaches?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter. Anything you need, you can get from Twitter or X, whatever the kids are calling it these days. You can find me at my handle at Jedi Modai, Jedi, then my last name Modi, and then that'll take you to everything that you could possibly want.
Fantastic. Make sure you guys are following along on the Betting Pros website as well. We'll have a ton of articles coming out each and every day of the NBA Summer League. You can also download the app, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good luck out in Vegas. Don't get arrested out there if you're hitting the strip this week. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.